Hey guys, Fire here from InDepth Gaming, bringing you another game review. This time we're checking out Animal Doctor. This game was developed by Kai Piranha Games and published by Toplitz Productions and released on March 25th, 2021 for a price of $19.99. So, what is Animal Doctor? Animal Doctor is a game where you're basically stepping into a brand new internship helping at a veterinary clinic as basically an animal doctor's assistant. The game takes place over maybe about a 10 to 12-hour gameplay period. I think it took me around 10 hours to get through the main story, where you're going to do a wide variety of quests from hunting for missing medications for animals to helping an injured owl who couldn't find his way to tracking a wolf that might be roaming around your town. Now, the game presents itself in a very easy and simple way to play. You are going to spend most of your times just going from point A to point B, and or either just finding certain collectibles. The game does offer 50 pieces of a collectible item in the game that form a puzzle piece along this giant, pretty expansive map for what it is. Where you're going to have to just do a ton of variety tasks and take care of all the animals. Now, if you look on the map, the game actually tells you right off the bat all the animals you're going to interact with. Now, you're going to do, I want to say, a little over 20 different missions, maybe 25-ish missions, where you're interacting with different animals, from going on a farm to help sick chickens to injuring or helping an injured cat or finding a lost dog. Now, while you play through the game, a lot of your basic mechanics are going to be pretty simple. It's just running from point A to point B, completing your specific tasks in your town. Now, you have this veterinary animal clinic hospital. I'll actually walk in here first before I do anything, where you're going to spend most of your time working. You'll do a lot of your different tasks here in the surgical table, as well as the dispensary in here, collecting and finding random items. Some of the rooms, though, are actually hardly ever used in the game. Now, from my play session, I walked into this room here maybe twice, as well as an x-ray room that I think only one time in the entire game you actually will use and interact with this room, as well as I don't actually know what this room is, or if this is even a room. It looks like it's just a blank door you can't open. Down to just a pin where you'll put an animal in here just one time. Now, the game has a lot of things that they've built out into it, but there's a lot of repetitiveness in certain aspects that you'll use, and a lot of things that you don't really ever interact with outside of one time that honestly I would have expected to use. I would have expected running an animal hospital taking care of animals that I would be housing and feeding and maintaining animals a lot more than what I really was. But the handful of times that you use some of those very unique areas are, as it says, it's a handful of times. There's a couple different farms that you're going to visit, as well as a lot of people's houses, and delivering items from milk and cheese and eggs to help out your local community. Now, that board that I was talking about with the pictures that you collect, it's actually a board here at the very beginning. You're going to slowly find 50 pieces of a puzzle to try to build this kind of farmy style picture entryway for your town. When you first start out in the game, you're going to be in this area, and it's going to kind of have you interact with a gentleman here and talk to people about your internships. Now, the way you unlock the different missions are as you level up in the game. Now, there's going to be points when you have to complete certain tasks that are kind of, I call them like errand tasks over and over, because you will have not gained
Right.
enough
What?
XP in the play sessions that you're at. And certain tasks that you do in the main story, the game will then allow you to rinse and repeat and do them all over again. So this one we're here starting on
Good.
screen
No.
as we're going to go feed some fish in a local river. Now, it's going to take you probably a couple hours into the game before you actually earn the ability to get a horse from doing a later mission, where everything beforehand you're just going to have to run around. But for the most part, most of the missions you're going to play are going to have you going to the same places, just doing different tasks over and over. Now, a couple of my gripes with this game. One, if you suffer from any like visuals from things moving around, the horse moving is going to give you a dizzying headache, as well as that blur when you're riding it also exists as when you're walking around it. It kind of gives me a little bit of a headache, and when I'm actually using him, I have to just not pay attention or look upwards. And then there's going to be a couple instances with some of these achievements in the game. Now I'm going to pop over here to the achievements real quick. I have completed the entire game, and as you can also see at the top there, I am level 30. Still at this time, these achievements aren't unlocking. I have reached level 30. I have done all of the wolf tasks, all of the cow tasks. All these tasks in the game is still yet to complete. Outside of I'm still missing some puzzle pieces. Speaking of those puzzle pieces, they're pretty much all scattered on the main tracks you're going to walk around. So as you look around the map here in the game, just make sure you walk everywhere and you'll pretty much find all of them. There's a few pathways I just haven't finished messing with, but that's stuff I just need to clean up in my own time. Visually though, the game's actually not that bad, but the gameplay mechanics are, pretty lackluster with what's here. I think this is perfect for a younger kid audience, which I would almost bet this is who this game was designed for maybe kids who are wanting to potentially become veterinarians or work somewhere in that animal, kind of industry and help take care of animals and might give them a little unique taste of what some of the work and interactions that they could be doing in, small communities. This is kind of a small community portrayed game, and in no way is any of this like a sense of a realistic manner in
Dennis is
something that
right.
would be a, you know, big city type environment. Now, every time you complete missions, you are going to get a load screen, even though you don't necessarily always need a load screen. It does it every single time. It's kind of a hard thing to avoid, especially with that little reminder there that you just can't really turn off. Now, one of the other gripes I do have with this game is I personally like being able to have the option to either invert or not invert my controls. You cannot do that. So the controls are locked in place. There's very little in the sense of customizations when it comes to this game outside of just viewing what the controls are and then adjusting your audio settings. Outside of that, you're stuck with what you're given, and it sucks, but it is something that you can adjust to pretty quickly. Now, if I have to give this game any type of an overall rating, I'm going to try to be mindful in the aspect of yes, it's a $20 game. I think that's a big pill to swallow for a game like this, but it does give you over 10 hours of gameplay. And for what the game is, I can tell this game isn't marketed at hardcore gamers, it's marketed more at a definite younger audience for you to interact with and younger kids and stuff alike. So as far as our rating like that, I'm going to give the game a 7 out of 10. I think just with the quirky bugs in it that need to be fixed and some of my opinions from what I've seen, it's got some work to do, but it is definitely a fully playable game in its current stance. You just can't get all the achievements, and the bugs that do exist don't really ruin the game. I was able to completely play through the entire game in its all entirety. I'm just hoping to one day unlock some of these achievements that won't pop for me. Outside of that, though, guys, this is Animal Doctor. If you do want to pick the game up, we do have a link down in the description. If you have any questions, as always, let us know down in the comments. Outside of that, I hope you guys have a great day, and be sure to check out our additional videos on our channel. We'll catch you guys next time.